What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review a 2014 EP by 2 Chainz. Basically, this product is called FreeBase, and it came out in the spring of 2014. So the thing about this product here is just the fact that 2014 was kind of. The thing about this product here is just the fact that 2014 was kind of a quiet year for 2 Chainz as far as this is going to happen. Now, Boats 2 Me Time was a pretty solid enough album. I did give that a relatively high score. Pretty much I want to say over an 8.75, 9 point something, 9.25, something like that out of 10. It's probably been, I want to say I reviewed that in 2023. I don't know if I reviewed it in 2024. Maybe it was like late 2023, something like that. But it's been a while since I reviewed it. The 2 Chainz projects I've been up to in more recent times have been more mixtape type fair pitches like that, like True Religion from late 2011, and then Codeine Cowboy from late 2011. But I wanted to get to this one because this is amongst like the era of like the 2 Chainz that I remember back when he was in his based on a true story heyday, some of those type pitches, and this is like an offshoot of that particular fair, and it is some excellent type pitches. Virtually on the cusp of getting classic. Out of 6 songs, wound up recommending 5.5 within the pitch as far as this first album. It has 4 music videos / singles on here. Pretty good promotion. Just vintage 2 Chainz. That is, just right off the bat, just being able to say it's just the 2 Chainz that you know and love from like the mixtape days. This just feels like a basic kind of shot in the arm and just update, just basically like some stopgap 2 Chainz before. I mean, really, he took a lengthier break compared, like originally what was going to happen with the particular fair about it was originally 2 Chainz had said in the fall of 2013, early 2014 that he was going to drop Boats 3. I forget the subtitle that was a part of that album, but he was going to drop Boats 3, which was another based on a true story back in the spring of 2014, but it just got delayed and it never happened. But within the pitch, it almost did. So within those fairs, I want to say there might have been a single or something like that was released. I don't remember his full bound, but within the pitch, he did. I do remember this particular product coming out within the spring of 2014. I kind of originally thought it was an appetizer for that particular album. Now, within the pitch behind it, 2 Chainz did take a pretty lengthy break, like I was saying, between I mean, back in those days, this was right as I was getting ready to create like the Acid Roots music channel as far as this first happened, like a year before that particular happened. But around that particular time, 2 Chainz had taken a break just because the after effect of Boats 2, that was a successful album, but it didn't do as star-studdedly as like the first one did with No Lie by Drake and I'm Different and like Birthday Song, some of those type pitches. So Boats 2 was definitely good, but it felt like he was kind of crossing back into hardcore type territory, kind of underperformed within the pitch. So 2 Chainz went back to EPs, then he got back on the mixtape grind, and then he basically dropped Collar Grove in the spring of 2016. By the time, he basically dropped Collar Grove in the spring of 2016 with Lil Wayne. So, but it was just kind of some revving around this particular time. But the excellent type fare within this is like another just bolsterment of like the basic concept of getting like things ripped out of like the 2010, 2011, 2012 type drill, some of those type pitches, which is definitely refreshing within some of those type pitches, just because the format that trap was starting to meld and transform. This is kind of before Future dropped Dirty Sprite 2, and this is kind of before certain aspects, even before Future dropped Monster, another hit mixtape from the fall of 2014. So it's just with a pitch that trap was kind of, it was more shots in the dark as far as like what was going to happen before things kind of got to full bound, kind of like the Instagram and more Snapchat and things like that type era, as far as more social media centric type pitches. Migos still hadn't found like their particular blossom as full bound yet. Gucci Mane was amidst his prison sentence, some of those type fairs. Yo Gotti was helping flesh things out with like his I Am album from the fall of 2013. I think Meek Mill was in prison around this time, something like that particularly had kind of happened within those particular type fairs. So it's just been pitched as far as saying kind of within the more or less type format that it was Drake was kind of on vacation around this time, and Future had kind of, his Honest album was good, but it just, that one seemed kind of haphazard within like at least like the melding as the direction. I need to start listening to that one more, but it's just one pitch that basically the winter and spring in 2014 was just kind of an odd type era with some of that type era, because it was just the pitch that mixtape or drill was starting to get a little bit washed out within the pitch, but it was kind of the concept that it wasn't quite in like the full bound kind of Instagram area. So it's just one pitch, but this is definitely very aesthetic and very superb type project within pitch. Like I said, out of the 6 songs on here, it's really only a half song within the pitch I don't full bound as much recommend. I would almost damn near say within the territory behind it that I probably would give this EP like a 10 out of 10 just with the pitch behind it. I just think it's more kind of personal reasons as to why I don't full bound recommend Trap Back as far as those first happen. I just would say this with the pitch, because that one's basically more of like this neighborhood kind of smoke grounds, this Tibble type gas station run type fare within the pitch. The Tibble product is just picking up like some zigzags and swishers and lighters, Bic lighters, pitches like that, getting some frozen some burritos, slice of pizza, some of that type fare within the pitch. But it's this kind of product, if you're not within the health, within the aspect that's full bound of doing it, it's this kind of pitch that the song really feels like you're just out in like the spring and summer type neighborhood and autumn type fare within the pitch behind. So it's this kind of pitch as far as saying without those neighborhood romps, just the affluence is not as full bound. But I would say, I mean, I would give it a 9.75, but I think the quality of the song actually is good, and it's a very enthralling song, so I think it probably is going to get like a 10 out of 10 just with an asterisk. But yeah, there were 4 singles out this project, or 4 music videos, which is pretty promoted for like a EP as far as those pitches can have. Definitely say the excellence of it. So those 4 ones would be Trap Back, They Know, Flexing on My Baby Mama, and FreeBase. So it's excellent type pitch. Recommend all those. Recommend every song on here. So like I said, 10 out of 10 with the asterisk, but we'll go ahead and talk about these. So yeah, like the Almost song, like I was saying, is Trap Back. This like the Almost song, like I was saying, is Trap Back. This is like a noisy kind of neighborhood, getting straightened kind of song within the pitch behind it. Just kind of getting leftover tasks kind of taken care of. Just typical kind of drag and just typical kind of slag and dredge as far as this pitch can happen. Just smoke some stress definitely, and by the pitch behind it, I mean within the concept of smoke is being actually stressed. So it's kind of the concept that's in some senses you'd refer to some green as stress as far as this pitch can happen. Just taking the relief in as far as this pitch can happen. Smoke some stress, just some long day kind of after effect within those fares. So it just feels like a real red skies or dredgy kind of ass day within some of those type pitches. Just kind of the format of just the typical type fare where just whether it would be personal life kind of drama or just business life kind of drama, just with the pitch of the typical slag of just caught up with this. Yeah, I need just breathers, some loud packs, and pick me ups just with the pitch behind this kind of typical type conduit type form within the pitch. Very excellent type song, very vivid within the concept as far as the pitch behind, as far as just wanting to go for like gas station runs, head to Taco Bell nearby, some of those type pitches, just get some goodies, some of those type fares. It's a typical type in between type motions, but it's just the pitch. If you're not doing that, it just the affability behind it. It really feels like it's just loud, just hearing the sirens go off nearby, and the pitch is like a just fares like that. It's standard traffic and the horns honking. This kind of residential, more suburban kind of city traffic within the pitch. It's residential type slide within the pitch, but it's just the format. If you're not amidst that, it's not really a night venue song, not really a dance venue song, not really like a thump kind of within a vehicle type song. So it's just the pitch. If you're not just amidst like some snack runs, some of that type fair system pitch, but it's not a bad song. It's just a pitch. I will recommend it, but it's just kind of pitch that it's an almost song just because the format of just whether or not I would do it, just because my diet nowadays is kind of limited, but I look after it. They Know is another quality one. Now this has Cap One and Ty Dolla $ign. These are definitely some folks I need to get more to as far as this fair can happen. And some of this is going to happen down the road as far as this fair kind of happen. So yeah, I would say more. They Know is like a morbid kind of trap local grime to kind of get within the aspects here. Just a Taco Bell run, I'd have to say, within the pitch behind it. It's kind of an offshoot of Album Tit as far as this first going to happen. By Album Tit, I mean Album Titty Boy, some of those particular type fares. Just kind of this in a gas type song, has a ghostly type fare about it, very muddy within the pitch. So it's just kind of the format is kind of pitches like that. This one's in the same type format as Trap Back, but that I would say Trap Back's just a little bit more amidst like the city traffic and just kind of Trap Back's just a little bit more amidst like the day fair, a little bit more jovial within the pitch as far as those fares going to happen. But They Know is just a little bit more morose. Just kind of the concept of just like some heroin typeness, just typical kind of 3-6 Mafia like this night run type sludge within the pitch behind it. This just feels more amidst like 7:30, 8 p.m. just within pitches like that. Just kind of the format of this, the typical type format. This just feels more amidst like the format of like mixtape runarounds and like some night weaving with just within the pitch of this. This feels more residential bound within the aspect of it. So it's just typical type fare. I would definitely say this is just prime form kind of Taco Bell run type music, hitting up like a Taco Bell, Arby's, some of those type pitches. Just the format, just being out in the wet. I do like the neighborhood crawls on here within some of these type pitches. Definitely excellent aspect just to be able to get some of that fare. Just kind of the weavings of just smoking with a few homies and just enjoying like the product of it. So definitely a good pitch within those aspects. But yeah, this is pretty a gas type song, kind of within the pitch of minor kind of like horrorcore type fashions for Titty Boy. Now it's not horrorcore within like the lyrics, but it's just within the pitch as far as saying just kind of ghostly type material that you would have gotten from like Chief Keef or just more horror type trap rappers within the pitch. So this is a trap song, but this feels a little bit more fearful and kind of more feels a little bit more fearful, muddy, and icy as far as this person has a good type pitch. Flexing on My Baby Mama is another music video type one. It's like some vintage kind of early 2010s drill tear up. Flexing on My Baby Mama is like some vintage kind of early 2010s drill tear up. I'd have to say here it's just more in step out type form within the pitch behind. It's real hot type one. So it's just kind of the format. Some of these type ones, like I would say FreeBase and Flexing on My Baby Mama, or I would say FreeBase and Flexing on My Baby Mama are two type ones for just the format of getting crunk a little bit, but just the flip mode of just the pitch of being at the house, getting ready to step out, have some good type times within the pitch. Of just like that initial kind of looking spiffy pitch just like that, just getting towards the concept of getting ready to get crunk some of those particular type fairs. I mean, I would definitely say woulda, coulda, shoulda, and crib in my closet are like the ones for Miss the Dance venue. I'd say the trap back, they know, are the more neighborhood type ones. Flex on my baby mama and freebase are more the ones that just getting out of work mode, switching to like the primer, getting ready to get crunk some of those type modes for just like the conduit type moments of getting ready to tear up a bit and just stunt and pull up some of that type flash and flare. Then I'd say like I said, the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and crib in my closet are more amidst like the dance club and vintage kind of mixtape drill, some of those type ones. But a lot of these have some pretty sparkly productions on there. Just the pitch of this, it's in 2014, but it definitely has the pitch. It just feels like the Loud Pack edition. Just something that probably would have been dynamite. It's not like it's not dynamite. It's not like it's not dynamite now, but definitely the pitch, just ice cold type fare of like when you think of like drill ripped out of like the summer 2011 and summer 2012, some of those type pitches. So this feels just like God Forgives, Rick Ross, and like Flockavelli, Waka Flocka, some of those type pitches. Codeine Cowboy, 2 Chainz. That's definitely some excellent type of pitch. So definitely very enjoyable with the aspect. Freebase, another one, just within that appeal. This is a title track. It's like a glissy kind of evening primer. I'd say just get prepped. I'd say within the pitch, just feeling spiffy, kind of trap relief from like usual slag as far as this first game. So this one's just to miss the pitch. Probably commerce in mind within some of those type fairs, just within the aspect as far as this first gonna happen. Just the pitch as far as saying, there's just a lot of excitement about the song Freebase as far as this first gonna happen. Just within the pitch of really getting towards like the product of getting ready to get tore up within the pitch. It's kind of great. This is like a great kind of flip mode from like the concept of like, all right, tasks are done, some of that type fair. It's like 5:15, some of those type pitch. Just realize it's gonna be a hell of a good night within some of those type pitch. Just the concept of really getting towards the tear up and some of that particular type fair. Really getting ready for some of that hammerage, some of those type pitches. Probably pick up like a supply or two, something like that, just within the product, getting some homies on the dial as far as being able to say we're gonna have hell of a night, some of those type pitches with them for us. So just a good type primer for some of that type of appeal, good concept. Then woulda, coulda, shoulda is a nice one. Now this has Boozy Badass on here, which is pretty nice snag just because he had been in prison for a good while from like the late 2000s until this particular point. So he got a verse from Lil Boozy just within the pitch of pretty much him being out of prison for like a month or a month and a half, some of those type pitches within the format, couple months. So I'd say it's like a basic later on drill, Loud Pack. I'd say within the pitch, kind of late within the product. Woulda, coulda, shoulda is like a basic later on drill, kind of Loud Pack here. Just the pitch, I like good type format of some of that Primera type stuff, but just within the pitch, a way out in 2014. So it's just a good After Effect product to some of that type fair. Definitely vintage, real ripper within the aspect here. Just continues to be stellar. Some of those type pitches, very much high grade excellence within those pitches. It's like a vanilla stunt tune, I'd have to say, within the pitch. Definite banger and just good for some dance venues as far as this first comes. So just from the pitch, as far as saying, despite the fact that trap music was kind of adapting to different things around this particular time, as it was kind of going through some conduits in 2014, this is like a vintage type one within the format as far as saying, woulda, coulda, shoulda is just like typical kind of banger Loud Pack as far as this pitch can have. So this feels ripped out of like the based on a true story kind of days, pitches like that. Songs like Riot, some of those type of ones. Songs like Riot and Spend It by 2 Chainz off of his mixtape days, some of those particular type formats. And this pitch is like an in-between kind of album cut off the based off a true story album, some of those type pitches. So it's within the format as far as this first can happen. Just feels like a syrupy kind of typical trap and just mixtape drill type banger within pitch. So good type format for that. Plus it has a little Boozy type feature on this. Excellent type pitch. Crib in My Closet, this is probably one of the best ones on this product, just within the full boundedness. This is like probably one of the most casual ones on here. This vintage should take you right back to 2011, 2012, 2010, some of those type fairs. It's like a highlight kind of early 2010s mixtape drill, I'd say, within the pitch. Just typical kind of red hot banger within the appeal behind it. Great song to blitz up as far as those first kind of within the pitch, as far as those formats kind of getting towards getting ripped within the aspect of it. So craziest song on this particular product is vintage 2 Chainz. Is right in the prime of just continuing that consistent kind of banger type aspect, just like that ravenous kind of energy. Is definitely something that needs to continue within these formats as far as getting to like the vicious type of appeal. Like, I mean, just some of the energy of some of those ragers when Rick Ross would be going full bound kind of bananas crazy, just pitches like that. Meek Mill is doing the same thing. Some of these type folks, Waka Flocka screaming at the top of his lungs, pitches like that. 2 Chainz was pretty viral and crazy as well within those pitches. So it's just the format as far as saying Lil Wayne, really shredding some of these lyrics. So, just within the pitch, just kind of the format of basically getting like a mixtape delight, just like an EP kind of shot in the arm type format. So it's just a good upgrade as far as this first going to happen. And on this song, A$AP Rocky's on here. It's a pretty good type pitch. Now, he didn't do as many full bound type drill type songs, but it's an excellent pitch getting him on a song song like this. Definitely feel like it takes it back to like his 2011, 2012 mixtape days, some of those type formats. And Rick Ross obviously from like his John and I Am Not a Star days on this particular song. So it's excellent type appeal. So I am gonna give this EP like a 10 out of 10, just with an asterisk. But I would say more or less it's just gonna get a 10 out of 10, just with the pitch as far as saying. I mean, Trap Bag's just more personal reasons, like I said, for that being an almost song. But it is a 10 out of 10 in terms of the quality and the impact, and just the aspect of how it delivers, and just the branding of it, and just the way it kind of knocks is just a KO as far as these pitch counts. So the social score will go ahead and get a 10 out of 10 as well, because I look within the pitch, 4 music videos. The social score will go ahead and get a 10 out of 10 as well, because 4 music videos, pitches like that, I had to say, just within the aspect, I like the particular fare. I mean, you get about 2 songs each format. You get the neighborhood Taco Bell run, some of those type pitches. You get the primer type songs for getting ready to step out. You get the neighborhood kind of Taco Bell run and snackage type songs within the pitch. Good smoke neighborhood type fare. You get the primer type songs within the pitch. It like some prime step out and just pitches like that. Some spiffiness within the aspects for us. So it's first gonna happen just the pitch as far as saying some pull up type music and just stunt and flex type music within the format. Just having like some good gliss and pitches like that. Just the excitement of just being done with work shift and that relief. Then you get 2 songs, Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda, and Crib in My Closet. They're like the pitch, like dance venue type noise, and this vintage kind of drill within those aspects, like some ferocity and just the impact of just getting crazy and going ham as far as this pitch comes. So just when the pitch, I would say 10 out of 10 social. In terms of the future, 2 Chainz has dropped an album in early 2025. He dropped with like, I don't know if it was The Alchemist, but one of those type folks. It's more in an East Coast type format. He kind of is doing like, I don't know, I want to say more or less it's boom bap, something within that pitch, just more that lyrical type tip of something that just feels like something that like more folks like Mobb Deep, and just it feels more like a Mobb Deep album, some of those type formats from 2 Chainz. It's a good type pitch just because he is a southern cat, so it'd be interesting to kind of see what he would do with that, just how he would approach that. But it's just the pitch as far as saying, so yeah, this is vintage classic type 2 Chainz. If you're if you consistently fuck with like the Boats albums by 2 Chainz, Boats 1, Boats 2, some of those type errors, and mixtape 2 Chainz and Titty Boy from like the late 2000s, early 2010s, just like a further shot in the arm, and this is just like a lengthening of that loud pack of that particular style, that particular hat. So it's just good to get like a lengthening of that particular fare, getting like another update for some of that vintage type sound, having more of it is definitely good, and definitely good and definitely welcome.